Welcome to the technical briefing section of this Best Management Practices Company Awards 2024. So formally, let me recognize the presence of the President and the Founder of Chartered Professional Managers of Sri Lanka, Professor Lakshman Rathnayake, and our Governing Council members, our guest speaker, Mr. Krishna Dimel. So I want to specifically thank him for that wonderful the endorsement given, the outside-in perspective, which we are hearing for the first time. And dear ladies and gentlemen, well, so this is, it's about taking about 20 minutes as per the agenda to take you through these core areas, salient areas. So what I thought, like rather than being here, I'll come to the center and I can share a few slides and thoughts and views. Of course, after that, we can have some questions from you. Well, if I be precise, as for since the slides are there, the details are there, so we can start with who we are. So as you have seen and what Professor has said, the CPM is an integrative management body. So irrespective of your profession, where the CPM has an opening for you to come under this umbrella and integrate and network, look at the integrative meaning of management. So therefore, as a national body, we have a implicit responsibility in terms of certain areas. So this point is not connecting to the digital form, so therefore I don't need to go one by one. You can see that the National Conference 2024 is coming up in big way, the best management practices and the Chartered Professional Managers of Sri Lanka, so that you as a member or not member, you can contribute that. So the contemporary perspectives, even for managers, and we have a very powerful women's chapter, the delegation, professional development, the SME sector development, which is coming up in big way next year. So like that, we have an array of basket for the members to look at, embrace, and explore. So in that sense, my focus here is the best management practices. So if I look at the idea here, it's all about recognizing, in terms of the awards per se, the salient core is that recognizing the public and private sector in terms of their growth and success in multiple forms. If I go to the next one, is all about the awards. Awards endorse the best practices which you have experienced, which you have executed, implemented during 2023. In terms of the awards provide distinct frameworks. Now, Mr. Dimel mentioned that this a thinking line. So I would invite you to look at some of the key challenges you are encountering and revisit what you have done. Or in fact, you are doing at the latter part, because we are still within the 2023. So in terms of that, so we would invite you to distinctly look at, identify what you are doing and why you are doing. In terms of the company point of view, it's a expert, independent perspective. So as I said, it's independent views from experts on the organization management practices. They would ask in a fresh angle. They would ask, what is this, why this, that, and so on and so forth. So in terms of the gaps, in terms of the needs in the organization for next practice, because as C.K. Prahalad, the veteran professor from Coimbatore, India, said, well, the best practice for this year, probably the next practice for the next. So that's how the industry is. So we are learning, working together. So in that sense, the best practices become next practices. Well, one free seat also available in this case, that is not just giving a seat, but that's the purpose where the following, the conference day, to get that the competitive knowledge from the diverse sectors, industries, to learn, understand, and see and look at the showcasing the best ones. So therefore, as a part of this award ceremony, is having this one seat is available for your company to come and witness and learn the new learning. Well, with that, if I take you into this, some of the other benefits attached to it, enjoy the exclusive, the best management practice, the 2024, the designation, digital badge, and so on, and coming off these top 5 winners, what they have been doing, and you can see that. So we saw that last year, what 99X has done the previous year, and so on. So one important strict mark highlighted here, you can see that the 3 presenters who are coming for this presentation, I would say that they need to represent at the final presentation also, in case you have been selected under the top 5. Because we can see that sometimes the early stage, some senior managers may take part in the presentations, but in case you have been awarded, like if you are highlighted, you are in the top 5, like Mr. Dimel has done last year, so they should come and present. So we are like overly highlighting that because we saw that 1 or 2 wanted to get the either MD or chairman to come and present instead. So then they didn't get that rhythm, that dynamics in the same passion that others have gone through. So sometimes you would be the enabler, you might be the person who is driving. But once the awards are being, say, highlighted, particularly at the 5, oh, right, I think I should go there. So that's what might happen, so that we won't avoid it. Right. With that, so as you know, just to highlight these awards, there will be overall top 3. So that is where the gold, silver, bronze. And you can see that the number 2 is where the top 5 categories come in. That is called Best Management Practices Excellence. That's where the top 5. Out of that, the 3 would be recognized so that the best 5 members who are presenting on that day, they will actually get to know their results at the latter stage. They don't know because we are presenting it alphabetical order, the company alphabetical order name. Well, in terms of the overall, before the best 5, the top 10 companies. So there are 10 awards, which is called top 10 companies in the best management practices. So in terms of the categories, so there are category winners. So here we are looking at the sector, 21 sectors plus other 2. So that category winners, each category is having a winner. And the members who are coming for this evaluation process, if they score in that relevant sectors, dear ladies and gentlemen, so I have highlighted one way. You can see that organizations who earn 61 or above marks in terms of, but not secure any such the title under the recognized category, so they would get the merit. For an example, particular sector, you have scored 61 and above, you are not the category winner, but still you have been recognized under merit. In this case, being just presenting or submitting an application and making a presentation does not guarantee or ensure that you are getting a certificate. Instead, you can see the certificate of recognition is given for those who are scoring 50 to 60 categories. So those who are earning some marks out of both, which I will explain in a while, that is, in case if someone is scoring less than 50, ladies and gentlemen, we want to tell that, so there is no opportunity in terms of giving an award. So it's not, as Mr. Dimel said, it's not just the sake of giving an award. So we want to look at that robustness in the process. Well, so that is the award, and one fact is I just highlighted to Mr. Dimel, like the overall winner can't come in the next year. But of course, they can apply after passing 1 year. So that means the following year, the overall winner can't apply consecutively. Well, so I would say we are pleased to invite 99X to come back again in 2025 awards. Right. Well, as the award categories, I'm sure these details are all available. Please have a look at. That is where 21 sectors we call sector categories. In terms of certain industries or certain areas where there is any gray area, that is coming under the other category. So that's so here category A. In terms of the B, so dear ladies and gentlemen, we are now, as a management body, we have an implicit responsibility to look after this DEI, diversity, equity and inclusion. So that is where this category is looking at, if I just read it out, recognize organizations that have demonstrated outstanding commitment to fostering diversity, equity and inclusion within their workplaces in terms of the more inclusive environment, ensuring that all employees, regardless of their backgrounds, have equal opportunities to thrive and contribute to that company's success. So, as well as we aim to inspire this practice in the respective organizations to prioritize. So we invite to organizations to prioritize diversity, equity, and inclusion as an integral component of their corporate culture and business management practice. And the last one, which is the backbone in the countries, that is SMEs, SME sector. So this category is dedicated for that. In terms of our understanding, our council decision is that, judging decision is, this is about annual turnover below 100 million, and we have to put a threshold of full-time employees below 100. So that's the SME category. Well, with that, who can apply? As you know that any registered business in the country or local or foreign, which has been operating, particularly last 36 months. So what does that mean? That means 23, 22, 21. So if those 3 years are included, they're eligible. And what is the considered period? So the period is from January 1st to the December 31st. So in this case, we are not looking at the financial in terms of this. This is not, as you know, it's not an annual report-based exercise. This is about management practice-based. We are promoting the best management practices, but the duration per se, since you are particular about your evidences in terms of highlighting the other the matters that you are going to, which I am going to explain later, are all entitled within that, eligible within that period. Well, with that, so the evaluation process, so there is a submission, so that is the first round, that is where the 50% desk review from the experts panel, and finally you need to make a presentation, which I'll explain, so 50-50, the total 100. So this is how. So that means at least you don't need to, in either category, you need to somehow get it 50 plus, so that is where the recognition, 60 plus is the eligibility for merit, like 61 plus, and overall winner and the subsequent winners. Then I take few minutes to take you through in this area in terms of understanding this. This is a core. This is a core. So here that document is available in your document, but at the same time, I would take this template, will take you through very briefly how it looks like. So dear ladies and gentlemen, if you look at, other than the first report, first page, where the name, address, telephone, website, category, and so on, and you can see that these are fundamental details any company should submit, but particularly number 9 is very particular. That's the declaration, because since the judges as part of this exercise are not visiting the company and checking a verifying process, so that we want to get endorsement from the company, where either chairman or CEO, MD should endorse with the signature and the seal. You can put the company seal here with the designation. So that gives the integrity part to a great extent. With that, we'll come to the general guidelines, which I'll highlight. So it's more or less, so these details will be further highlighted again. So we can go to the third page. So those who are registered would get this Word document. Now you want to make, so this year, Mr. Dimel, the last year you got the template, well structured, but we have seen, as judges, we have seen sometimes somehow moved to certain points to different categories, so that the focus has got lost and all over, a lot of descriptions, a lot of narratives. So we want to make you very precise. So we are compelled to select within this framework. So therefore, even you can see, as he said here, question number 1, all the areas are clearly as it is given. The emerged situation in the organization before implementing the best practice. I'm just reading it out. Best management practice, a brief comparison with the previous year situation. Now you can see this within that space. The space can be enlarged. You can amplify. That is not a problem. But the point is, make sure that the marks, you can see that how the judges are going to mark. The 1 to 3, average, 4 to 6, good, and 7 to 10. So that the range selected by the relevant judges is a judgmental call. But the point what I want to highlight, now here friends, you need to first look at your organization, total operations. I would say first, before implementing the best management practice, you need to, I would say, orchestrate the context. Like, what is the context that you're operating? What is the conditions? What are the conditions that you have gone through? And like that's where the funnel is building up. So in that sense, like the situation, circumstances such, then we go to, please go to the next page, please. Here you can see that the space, yeah, now this is where the tricky point. Now, he mentioned a nice word, ROE. So you want to tell you that your return on efforts are based on what? That is about your thinking capacity, internal deliberation. Now here, ladies and gentlemen, each company has a story. In terms of functional point of view, whether human resource, marketing, finance, IT, manufacturing, you name it. In terms of that, your task is what? Now, selecting one core area. So in that sense, I will explain what is this pillar and the individual line. The idea is this. First, out of our functional areas, you have to have a call that what we should showcase, what is our core, what is our strength, where we can go and stand and talk in front of a larger context, where we are good at. So that's your choice. Sometimes, for that matter, you need to have a lot of deliberations with your management members. It's not like first come. Let's have a HR show, let's have a marketing show. No, not like that. Select one. In that sense, we have been looking at and observing one of the emerging points at the judging process last 2 years, that some companies are very particular about what they are doing. So in that sense, let's say operations management. Operations, they are not just doing activities. Here, ladies and gentlemen, not just activities, not just series of doing, no. So their work is well structured. We have seen some companies have say pillar A, B, C, and like an edifice, it comes to the operations management domain. If you go to marketing, you can see marketing. So this is what we are doing. A, B, C, D, all four converge into the core. So so in that sense, now here, either side. So if your company is having a particular distinct, identifiable pillar-based approach, pillar-based means you have multiple lines of working which are converging to that functional area of operations or marketing or finance, you name it, then you can select the pillar-based side. Of course, this page can be expanded then. You can avoid the individual-based one and you can write there. In case no, we have one core area in terms of finance. We have one core area of the distinct process or a practice. Please select the individual-based area. So no need to write both, right? So in case you are writing both, what does the message say? Very simple, very simple. So you are not clear about what you are doing. Whether you are pillar, neither no, there, either no, neither no. So that's the case. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, very clearly select, because without highlighting the company's name, we can say company A, they had a very good operational practice. To achieve that core, what they are doing, focusing, they have three pillar-based approach to reach here. So then, ideally the pillar-based side. Let's say that you have a good IT practice system, which is based on one clear, distinct approach that you are following. So that means you are doing quite regularly to generate the results. Select the individual category. Right, so that's the number 2, where the marks range are clearly given. So that question number 2 is very vital of selecting. Then once it is done, now the point is where number 3, so in terms of this one, this is the tricky, why 30 marks. So whatever you have chosen in that area, either pillar-based or individual-based, so now the challenge is what? The challenge is selecting and showcasing at least three evidences. So here, so look at the word. how this practice contributed to bringing back the business, bringing back to that, because originally you had the challenge, the gap. Now you are bringing this practice. This is a distinct identification. So with that, what we are going to do? We are going to fill the gap, meet the desired level, so that, and sustaining to grow the business. So that is what. So provide 3 minimum areas where evidence 1, 2, 3. To make you very comfortable, we have allocated the areas also for you easy reference. So that means, say for an example, you have given 2 evidences. What does that mean? So you will get 2 categories of marks, 10, 10, 20. That's it. So therefore, marks area also quite clear. Right. Now, with that number 4, he used a word called where benefits and so on. I'm highlighting because your speech has given my life so comfortable outside in perspective. The number 4, here, ladies and gentlemen, these words are very vital. In the management, we use regularly, but sometimes we are not particular about the meaning. Output and outcome. Output and outcome. Output. If you can't quantify your evidence, your benefit, so there is no output. Outcome is always qualitative, impact, efficiency, effectiveness, resilience, satisfaction, and so on and so forth, productivity. But here, output is what? Output is number, X number of, Y number of, A, B, C. So here, as Peter Drucker said, the father of modern management, if you can't measure, you can't manage. If you can't manage, you can't execute. So this is about execution. So this is about doing. So in that sense, here, how could the output and outcome of the set best practice be measured or described? So measured, output. Describe, outcome. Got it? So therefore, focus on, so when you are bringing those output and outcome, here, ladies and gentlemen, you can focus on the societal larger industry impact, societal impact, contribution to the economy, the larger, bigger picture is up to you. That you can do easy. Right. So that you can say 25 marks. So 30 and 25. So this is the core, the heart. And with that, so always, I think the founder professor is always keep on telling that whatever you have started, you have to keep on sustaining. That is our next question. Question number 5. That is where now you need to tell that, you have to tell that, look, we have initiated this. We are now taking it forward. We are taking it forward. That is what measures are taken to sustain and consolidate the process. Now you need to give at least few endorsing steps. Look, we have started. This is how we are sustaining. Because by the time the deadlines next year, January 31st is the deadline. So that means what? Now you know that how the process is now taking forward, taking it to the next level. So that is what question number 5. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I'll go to the last one. But still, if you feel that, look, there are some other endorsements, some kind of a, say, appreciation, recognition given by any organization where you have 5 marks, you can give some other evidences as well. So that's the last question. Right. So with that, that's a background. We'll come back to that. So the entire thing has been clearly, transparently given. So you can follow that. The same thing you can see here in the next page where what you can see in your general report, general details. You can see that in the website what we have launched today. That was available. But in terms of this, each area with the box and the relevant template, we have given for those who are registering would be receiving from the CPM Secretariat. Well, with that, I'm coming to final few general points. Very strictly follow that template and look at this word count. Even though we are not counting the word count should be strict to that. So it gives an indication where you don't need to, in some cases, unnecessarily write. Because why we are giving a template, ladies and gentlemen, even though you are in the corporate sector or public sector, people love to write so much. So then making judges' life
what is the word should I use? Miserable. Reading. We are finding where is this practice? Where is this practice? Here's activity, another activity, another activity, another activity. Series of activities. So the first one is starting with marketing, then about third, again HR, fourth one, again another IT one, again coming back to marketing, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So I don't know whether many people would approach to Mr. Krishan Dimel and ask some consultancy to get some tips. Very precise. I want to tell you, I still remember the synopsis we have gone through. I still remember the PowerPoint slides which he has followed. Very precise, to the point. The areas strictly followed, even without giving a template of the box areas last year. So this is a value addition this year. Right, having said that, here if you have a few reference, here we don't look at standard academic references and so on here. It means your credentials and other areas. So strictly follow this, either Arial Calibrio Times New Roman 12 size fonts. It doesn't mean that making bigger fonts means additional marks. No, not at all. So then in terms of the page margin, maintain that and properly get that document, because there's a Word document we are giving to your control. So you are giving that document, when you are submitting it, it's a silent representation about you. So that you are not there, but your company, stature, image, respect, that is being demonstrated through that document. Right, so that shows the discipline. And in terms of the report, few other areas, which is the endorsement by the company chair or head or organization, the leader. That is very vital. Company rubber stamp signature. Then those who are not following that, of course, secretariat would bounce it back and say, no, we can't accept this and all that. In terms of one important thing is, in this case, the judges are being selected by the institute on independent grounds. So they are attached to multiple organizations. I am attached to another organization and so on. We can see a lot of known faces. But that doesn't mean that you can personally approach us to get any additional undue advantage. So we can't do anything, because that's the Olympic system of common platform selection process, where no advisors personally required, nothing to be communicated to me or any of the judges, but it's about all the secretariat matter. And so here, the awards at cpmsrilanka.org, separate email address there. You can write to them. They would respond back. I'm sure I'm within my time, last 5 minutes. Here, in terms of presentation also, I think we should highlight now, because the first I have covered 50%, now the last 50%. Okay? I'm sure you're all awake to get an idea, right? In terms of the presentation, ladies and gentlemen, in presentations there are many cardinal principles. It's about context, the content, conduct. So in this case, what we are looking at, now the context is where you are submitting and since I'm missing some members, we are all there with, so here you are submitting your submission, the report, we call report, synopsis, but report. So that report is now you are going to showcase. For that, you have a rock solid 10 minutes. We are following a very simple structure, so that the panelists, you are coming via online. So before you start, we would say we will just refresh few cardinal principles of that, what to do, all that. Then you will start. So once you start, for an example, someone want to take about 4-5 minutes to talk about the company. So what? So it's a waste of your time. So come to the point. So that's why we are giving the assessment criteria. So look at the background of the company and the justification of the best management practice. Here is the company, showcase 1 or 2 slides. X number of slides you want to make, no problem. That's up to you. But manage your time. Big, bright, bold slides in terms of bringing the company into a focal point till this is the practice. Done. So once it is done, here, now the 50 marks here, presentation point of view. So this is what the scenario 1, this is what we have done. Here, 2, 3. Not about series of photos and photos and photos and activities of what we are doing. No. So that's not the idea. So after giving that practice in that context, here, because in your the report, you have given very clearly articulated areas. So we have a digital format. Now it's coming at the time of you are presenting, we can see what you have written. So we are strictly following like what you are talking as per the given report. So that the interesting part is that when you are explaining this, particularly during the Q&A time, like impact, key findings, and sustainability, overall effectiveness. So the last 20 marks only, the way you are structuring this 10 minutes very nicely, because in case you are exceeding the time, we are compelled to stop you. The point is that 80 marks coming from the structuring of the presentation. The point what I want to highlight, during last 2 years, when you are asking some cross references from your report, or have you said that, is it there in our report, something like that. What does that mean? Probably one has written, another one is coming for the presentation. So that the person who has written is not available for the presentation. So those cross questions would, like, I don't need to say, very implicitly and not implicitly, explicitly reduce your marks. So he is not sure about what is the practice even, and so on. So therefore, friends, be mindful about the criteria. So to the point, so that's where the slide organizing matters coming into the picture. So then the few oral presentation guidelines, then you need to follow the template. So template will be shared by the Secretariat. And in terms of the, here clearly explaining that this practices is the requirement, the 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. So we are asking questions 10 minutes. So you have that opportunity. And the same 3 presenters, so you can use 3 presenters. So here, the 3 presenters also very vital point. Even it doesn't mean that like there are some additional marks coming up because of there are 3 presenters. The point is this, that gives the team the collective representation. Because one of the company collective values is the teamwork. We can see one member comes and talk. So the contrary to the practices. So during the write-up time and the presentation, so we are based on the teamwork. That's how they highlight. But at the time of presentation, we can say one member is talking about, oh, the others are not available, and so on. So therefore, ideally, this is your story. This is your story, company story. So you are going to develop a story, and dress code, of course, should be office attire. All 3 present during that given time slot. So when you're asking questions, also all 3 should be able to answer in terms of the areas. We have seen that 1 or 2 companies last time got thoroughly embarrassed, because when you're asking that you have mentioned this statement here, but we didn't see in your presentation, then, I think we have missed it, and something like that. It doesn't mean that it's a reproduction of what you are submitting in the report, but the idea. If you are saying that we have achieved, okay, say 10% to 20%, so then the presentation also should highlight is 20%, not any other percent or any other number, because that's what you are saying, right? With that, some information security, we want to tell you that the Secretariat is having the total confidentiality factor. These are only open to the judges. Other than that, these are not being given. Your details are not being given to any company and so on. I think I remember last time once after the awards, the best presentations like requested by many companies to see the presentations of what you have done by secretariats, but simply say no. Well, some other points like in terms of the authority, so that is the panel of judges involvement coming into the picture, and so here the scanning, so you can scan and get the applications all streamlined, fee payment options, as well as the contact CPM Sri Lanka for the details, all there. Yeah, so then the deadlines, I'm sure you are well aware. So the registration for the competition is up to December 15th. You can get registered. Then submission on no before 31st. Report acceptance, you will get the notice on no before 7. Presentations are happening this period, February 12th to 16, 9 to 23rd. So generally, Other than the Saturday, Sundays, they are in the afternoon, like around 5:30 to up to about 9:30. Presentations are scheduled. And in terms of the Saturday, like starting around 2:33 onwards, up to 9:30. So you're familiar, you will be familiar with that presentations during that time as well. And the announcement of the winners, except the overall 5 winners, the others have been announced that you have, let's say, ABC category or as such. And the awards night registrations are taking place on or before 7th March. And next year, the awards coming up on 13th. 13th is the awards day, 14th is the conference day. Well, so that's the background. I think I have taken exactly, so these are the winners of 2022. So all the details are available in the site, you can see. And the 2023 are the top 5 winners. So this, I can see most of the companies are here in the audience. Yeah, so the contact details are there, so that is available. And so send your QN to this, which is available on your table. And so our task is to promote best management practices as an integrative body. So ladies and gentlemen, I have exactly taken 20 minutes, done. It's time to take a few questions before we wrap it up.